Afternoon, second Saturday here in Sheffield at the Betfred.com World Snooker Championship. Once again, big crowds here in the Winter Gardens. Good afternoon, everybody. And a full house over in the Crucible Theatre. What an eventful 7 days we have had. Half of the players went out in the first round, and the seeds all being bumped. First time that 8 of them have gone out for 20 years. We've had a maximum break and maximum controversy along the way as well. But a few of the title favourites remain on track for another championship win. And this afternoon in the Crucible Theatre we have a quartet on show which has induced in our MC, Rob Walker, a state of almost stratospheric excitement.
In 90 minutes' time, this atmospheric arena will be packed for a simply sensational session of snooker. Table 1, the conclusion of John Higgins against Stephen Hendry, two of Scotland's all-time greats. Hendry, 36 ranking event titles, 7 times a winner here in Sheffield, a 1-4-7 on Saturday. He's back.
Absolutely fantastic! There's only one, Stephen Hendry!
Higgins, 24 ranking event titles, 3 Crucible crowns in the last 5 years. Table 2, the start of Ronnie O'Sullivan against Mark Williams, arguably the finest that England and Wales have ever produced. Williams, 18 ranking event titles, twice a world champion, one of the coolest left-handers in the game. O'Sullivan, written off earlier this season, but he's back. 3 times a Crucible King. This is a piece of snooker history, the most decorated quartet of players ever to appear on the Crucible stage at the same time. 4 men, 16 world titles, 101 ranking event victories. It's the best of the best, and it's not to be missed.
Well, Steve, two of the legends of the Green Bays, Mark Williams and Ronnie O'Sullivan, will take centre stage today, and it's fair to say Mark's got a pretty appalling record against Ronnie.
Yes, and for a game like snooker where your opponent is not necessarily the enemy, it's the table and the balls you've got to control. It's strange how styles come into play. Mark Williams usually has the edge on a lot of players because of his artistry, but I think it's fair to say that Ronnie O'Sullivan is the best snooker artist we've ever had.
It's a very strange match, the other one as well, Stephen Hendry against John Higgins. I watched the first session of that yesterday. Hendry was excellent and John Higgins was pretty good, but in the evening session it was a complete turnaround.
I think it was. Do you think it's because John Higgins had such a great season last year that he struggled the whole of this year?
I don't know, but whatever it was, Steve, that session last night was just not like Higgins at all. Hendry will be very happy with it. And if you look down here, there he was, 2011 the champion. I don't think John Higgins' name is going to be going in there this year.
It's a match between Scotland's 2 greatest ever cuemen. Amazing to think that John Higgins had never faced fellow snooker legend Stephen Hendry at the Crucible before now. And Hendry is within sight of the finishing line after their session last evening. 3-time champion Ronnie O'Sullivan was the epitome of calm as he found a way past snooker's Mr. Intensity Peter Ebdon in the first round. And now he'll tackle perhaps the most laid-back competitor in the game, Mark Williams, the first lefty to lift the trophy, something the Welshman's done twice. This is their 35th match. Scotland's Stephen Maguire's all fired up again in Sheffield 5 years after his run to the semis. He needs 3 more frames against Joe Perry to check into the quarters. Ryan's daughters keep telling him to lose. They found it's the only way that he wins. Welshman Day will use that reverse psychology against Sao Yupeng. And if maths isn't your strong suit, we'll find out how snooker can help in the classroom. Sit up straight, and Mr. Davis will explain. Plus, emails and tweets welcome, of course. What do you think of how this year's championship is taking shape? Let us know, please. So that's what's coming up this afternoon. Now, when he arrived in Sheffield this time, Stephen Maguire was one of the men well fancied to make a bit of a run at this title. He's had a superb second half of the season in which he's won one minor title and been runner-up in two major ones. Here's how his colleagues rate him right now.
One of the best players that we've got on tour. Aggressive when he needs to be. He knows when to push that button. Tactically very, very clever.
He's got the all-round game, as all great players have.
We sort of set the standard for, you know, myself, Sean Murphy, Mark Selby, and those sort of players coming through.
Very aggressive around the table, shows his emotions quite a lot.
He tries to bully players, and he does it a lot of the time. He's a great player.
Short-tempered, banging tables, where he gets so frustrated with himself, but I like that about him.
Somebody you don't mind going for a drink with.
Enjoys life. He's a good guy to be around to have a couple of beers with.
He's just destined to win the World Championship one day because he's that good a player as well.
Well, Stephen's opponent, Cambridgeshire's gentleman Joe Perry, has been a likeable fixture on the snooker scene for 20 years. He's now 37 years old. Now, on his debut here in '99, he caused a huge upset, beating Steve Davis on his debut. Made the highest break of the 2004 Championships, a 1-4-5, and his best progress in 2008 with a run to the semis where he lost to Ali Carter. This is Joe's 11th appearance. Now, he found himself 5 frames to 11 down overnight.